Hello you lovely people and welcome. Today I'll be doing a demo of a manual cold start in the Inibuilds / Microsoft AN-225 Myria. So I'm not going to beat around the bush as I'm not feeling too great. Let's just get straight into it. First things first, let's go to our electrical panel and switch on batteries 1 to 5, which are located here. 5. Ground power can be switched on with this switch here, but I'm not going to be using it for this one. Next we're going to come to our APU panel, which is located here. We're going to go to our APU master start, unguard switch up, fuel heater on, fire loop on, open the guard, hold the starter for 1 second, and we'll just wait for that to come online. Okay, we've got a green light now, so APU 1 is up and running. Now we are going to do the same with APU 2. So come over, open the guard, switch on the master start, switch on the fire loop, fuel heater, open the guard, push the starter switch for a second, wait for the green light to come on to let us know that the APU 2 has started. Okay, and now it's on, and now we're going to switch on the air bleed switches at the top. Now we come back to the electrical panel and we're going to switch on our rectifiers. So rectifiers 1 to 4 are here, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now we're going to switch on the transformer rectifiers, which are located here, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so we've come over to the navigation panel, and what we're going to do is switch on all of our instrument and navi master switches, which are located along the top row here. So flicking all of these on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so that's all of our navigational equipment on. Over to the captain's seat, and now we're going to switch on our buses. So we have HSI bus, we have radio alt bus, ADI bus, captain ASI and the VSI TCAS bus. So all of those switched on. And then over to the co-pilot seat where we're going to switch on more buses. We've got the HSI, radio alt, ADI, VSI TCAS, flight officers, nav1 radio bus, nav2 radio bus, com radio bus, air data, computer 1, 2, 3, and we're going to switch on the nav lights. These are the fuel and hydraulics panels. I tend to leave the fuel panel alone as it seems to be already set up as is, but with the hydraulic switch panels over this side, we're going to unguard these hydraulic pumps, switch off, unguard, switch off, unguard, switch off, again, again, and again. Back over to the captain's seat to have a look at the electronic flight board, which is situated just here. Zoom in, and we are going to have a look at our payload and make sure that everything is switched off. If it's in green, flick it off, but if you want to change the payload, obviously you're going to have to switch these on. So if you want to mess with payloads, now's the time to do it. If you don't, just make sure everything is white and ready to go. So as you can see, I've got generic cargo as active. Next is where we will set up our nav aids, our autopilot and our Garmin. We have nav radios up the top there if we want to do it. From there we have a Garmin here if we want to sort our flight plan out. I don't have anything loaded as it's just the startup demo, but this is where you would go to do it, and with the autopilot that will come in another video. And as we're going to start our engines now, back over to the co-pilot seat, and we're going to switch on our beacon lights, which are just here. Okay, so this is our engine starting panel. We open the cover up, we've got various switches here. We need to make sure that the engine start mode switches, the mixture ratio switches are all guarded and in the up position. As you can see, these are all guarded already, and the start modes are already up, and we want to make sure that the starter mode switch is up. Now we're going to select the engines we want to start. I'm going to start with 1 and 6. Let's hold the starter button down for 3 seconds. The lights will come on to let you know that the launch is in progress. If we have an emergency and need to shut down the engines, we push this button here to abort. And now it's a waiting game basically. We just need to wait for these green lights to extinguish, and we also have some red lights up the top here, which I'll show you in a second. Okay, so we've got these fail lights here. We're waiting for 1 and 6 to extinguish, and then we know the engines are up and running. Fail lights have extinguished. Now we can move on to our next set of engines. So we unselect 1 and 6. We'll now select 2 and 5. Press the starter button, hold for 3 seconds, green lights come on, and then again it's just waiting for the green lights to go off and the red lights to extinguish. Green lights are out. Red lights are out. Now we can go on to our next set of engines. Deselect 2 and 5. We can select 3 and 4 now. Press and hold the starter switch for 3 seconds. Green lights will come on, and again repeat. Okay, so all the fail lights are out, all 6 engines are up and running. Close the cover, and next. Back up to the hydraulics panel. As you can see, we've left our hydraulic switches unguarded and switched off. So now we're going to come back and switch on 6 and 1 and put the guards back up. And you can see the green lights have come on to let us know that the hydraulics are going. Okay, 2 and 5 are on, and now 3 and 4. So hydraulics are all up and running, gauges look good, we're all in the green. We move on to the next. Back up to the electrical panel, where we'll switch on the 4 engine generators, and they are located just here. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 generators are on. Back to the APU panel, time to switch that off, so up we go. We're going to press the stop button for both, and now we're going to switch off the fire loop switches, here and here. We're going to switch off our master switches and guard them, in the middle guard, and then switch off the bleed air switches. And then we can put our covers back on the starter switches. Now it's back up to the captain's seat, where we can prep for taxi. So the first thing we're going to do is switch the flaps down 2 notches, and the flaps lever is located here. 1, 2, and after that we're going to put our spoilers to arm. we are going to zero out our barometric altimeters. We have 2 on the instrument panel there, and this one. A bit awkward. Then next we're going to select our reverse thrust lever to the up and locked position. We're going to check our aileron and elevators and rudders for movement. Make sure our nose wheel steering switches are on, they're automatically on. So if the you see it's off there, if the guard is over, they're automatically on. And then we're going to switch on our taxi lights. Okay, we're good to roll. I'm at Briars Norton. Even though they have heavies here, some of the taxiways, well, they're wide enough, but there are obstacles in the way. So we're going to turn left here, go down to the runway, and then turn around at once we get to the end of the runway proper and line up. But what I'll do between here and there is speed it up. So I'll see you at the other end. Okay, so we're lined up down the end of the runway, and going by the manual, apparently there is a 2-minute warm-up period at the end of the runway. So we're going to set the N1 to 70% on the gauge here. And once we hit 70%, we're supposed to sit here for 2 minutes. I'm not going to do that because that's just, well, I've told you what the progress is. So it's up to you if you want to do the 2 minutes part of the simulation, but as it's a demo, just showing you what can be done and what's in the manual. So we're going to skip the 2-minute warm-up period, and what will happen is we'll set the N1 to 120%, let the parking brakes off, and roll down the runway. Simple as that, really. Okay, and we're rolling. Takes a little while to get up to speed, as you can imagine. Start rotating at 200 kilometers an hour. Wait for it to bite, of which there is no feeling of any heaviness, so you just float into the air. Okay, and we're up. Track the gear. Going to take up to 5,000 feet and stay on runway heading, and reduce the, well, bring the flaps back in as we climb. Trimming out, which is a real pain in this aircraft at the moment. Just be wary of that. Managed to get it trimmed. Whereas cruising a steady 400 kilometers an hour in a 10 to 15 degree climb. Nice and comfortable. reducing the flaps all the way back into the aircraft. Just waiting to hit 5,000 feet in the right barometric altimeter, as that's reading in feet, but the one on the main instrument panel in front of me is in meters. Okay, I'm going to start coming out of the climb now. Start leveling out at around 5,000 feet, and then I'm going to reduce the engine power back to around about 90% and just let it cruise. Right, well, that's it. That's the cold start for now, unless anything changes in the next update or whatever. But if that's helped you, I'm very happy that I've managed to do that. If you got this far, thank you very much, and as always, take care, and I will see you in the next one.